Hello, Internet! Welcome to Crying While Driving. We have Andy with us today, Joe Nicole, and Michelle Galvin. Thank you so much for coming to camp.
Thank you for having us.
Anytime. We have Swifties in the camp today, so we have a Lavender Haze cocktail. Let's give it a taste.
Let's do it. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Very, very good.
Delicious.
Nailed it.
Not so bad. So, how did you two meet?
Ooh. Do you want to kick this off?
No, you got it. You got it.
We met through a mutual friend, actually. So we're all from Foxborough. This mutual friend was also from Foxborough. And he invited me out to the bar one night. And he's like, I'm with Joelle and Danny. And I was like, I don't know who they are, but sure. And yeah, when I walked in, I noticed her immediately and wanted her attention and was very curious about her. I thought she was dating Danny. So I asked her and she was like, no.
Poor Danny.
And yeah, then we just started talking and immediately clicked. And then I was just straight up like, are you gay? And she was like, yeah. And then I was like, me too. And yeah, we just hit it off from there, and ever since been together every day.
Yeah.
Did you know that she was gay?
No. So I wasn't even going to go out that night. And then Danny and Jake were blowing me up. So when I walked into the bar, I also saw her, but I was wearing a headband. My hair was in a bun. I looked like I just left the gym. So I was like, oh, whatever. She's not going to pay attention to me at all. And then once she started talking to me and she asked me if I was gay, I was like, oh, she has to be. No one, straight girls don't just go up to other girls being so.
Are you gay?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I'm
pretty cute.
obviously a little more femme, so I think sometimes it's hard for people to know, but I make it known, so.
Yeah.
How do you make it known? Yeah.
I think I don't know, if I'm into someone especially, I think I'm just a forward person, I think, so, yeah, but I'm straight passing, but I kind of hate that because I want to be a little more mask and queer looking, but I've always just presented more femme, so yeah.
Yeah, you have the facial piercings, which is kind of like gay flagging, right?
The short nails.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
What do you do to queer flag? Because you're also on the more femme side.
Well, I do have my nose pierced.
Yeah, that's true.
And I have you.
Yes, I'm her flag. It's very funny.
But yeah, the short nails. I tend to wear a lot of rings. I'm working on it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
What do you do?
Look at me. I don't need to do anything. I guess I identify as a soft butch, so it's just my entire gender expression is my queer flagging.
Yeah, you've played with gender expression a lot though.
Yeah, I go from really femme to really mask. What about you guys? Are you how do you guys
I'm kind of similar. It all depends on how I wake up in the morning and what I feel. Sometimes we'll go out and I feel sometimes I look more femme than you do, which is crazy. And then I feel 90% of the time I definitely dress and act more mask, but then I do have those days where I want to present more femme, so it's really just all based on the day.
Yeah,
which I kind of because then it's different ways to express my personality too. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you always more on the femme side? Do you ever play around with being more mask?
I feel this is as mask as I get.
Yeah.
Almost. I think I struggle with what to wear because I do to wear makeup and I always do my hair and stuff like that. But then it feels weird to then I don't know I've never really went shopping and picked out anything mask, I guess. So
it's funny though because you have dabbled in button ups or the baggy pants,
right,
and you do you look amazing when you wear it, but I feel it's more
I think it's still weird
your
for me
confidence,
sometimes.
sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So you just got engaged in August.
We did.
We did.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
I noticed those giant rocks.
I haven't proposed to her yet, but it's coming. So
cute. What was the proposal like?
She was tough. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but so basically, like, I created this, like, newspaper, like, the Will You Marry Me, like, newspaper, and it was basically, like, our whole love story for the last, like, 2 years. And then there's, like, this really little library, the amphitheater?
Amphitheum or whatever you say in
like,
Providence.
downtown Prov, like, right next to Brown or something.
Have you ever been there?
No.
Oh, you should check it out. It's
You would
really
probably
cute,
love it. Like, it's so quiet, but, like, it's all historical. Didn't, like, Edgar Allan Poe used to, like, go there or
Yeah, it's, like,
something?
beautiful. It's, like,
Yeah.
very artistic, yeah.
So I, like, emailed them, kind of, like, gave them a heads up that we were coming in. I, like, had her friend does our photography pictures, so I, like, had her be there, get in there and, like, scope it out before. And so I, like, brought her, had her friend there, got her upstairs, and then just... I handed her the newspaper first, and then just did.
It was
did
funny
the
because
thing.
it was so quiet in there, and so we were literally just like in silence.
Yeah.
But like
Well,
you
we're-
handing me the paper was like
Yeah.
obviously how I knew that you were proposing.
Did you like understand what was happening?
So like she said
I'm
I was
so
hard.
awkward.
Well, like
So-
I like ruined the surprise for myself. I think a little bit, but like I had a feeling, but like, and as we were walking up, I was like, okay, like, this is happening. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow, I'm nervous. I'm going to throw up. But
It's also, like, the place is so small that, like, where her friends were hiding to, like, take the pictures, it was, like, we couldn't leave the area we were
Yeah.
in, otherwise they would see that, or she would, like, see them.
Oh my god.
So, like, they were kind of, like, popping out, being like, is it happening? Like, is it happening?
I
And
was
she, like, saw
what is
them.
going on?
And so she was like, why don't we, like, go over there? And I was like... No, let's just, like, what is this section about? Like, let's, like, learn about, like, John F. Kennedy or whoever it was.
Yeah.
And so then I was just like, F it. Like, I just gotta, like,
Yeah.
like, do it. So
It was
Were
really
you so
cute.
nervous?
I was, like, it was funny. I wasn't nervous the whole time, like, planning it and, like, getting there. But then, like, as I was, like, I didn't even say, like, will you marry me when I got down. I literally just, like, I felt like I couldn't even, like, talk. Because it was just, like, I don't, like,
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
it's a crazy moment.
And then all I said, I was like, oh, so, like, I'm, like, holding the ring, and she's kind of, like, looking at me, and I was like, wait, so, like, yes? Like, are you saying
yes.
Did you whisper it because you were in library?
I think I was literally like, I know, I literally was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I can't get kicked
so
out.
cute.
But it was cool, because, like, the people in the library, like, heard it, or, like, somewhat knew about it, and they, like, let us into this, like, private room to take, like, more pictures, and they were, like, and, like, take, like, 10 or 15 minutes and, like, do what you want with it. So, like, that was super special, too, because it's, like, normally blocked off to the public, so
Yeah,
it was cool.
it was really cool. It was perfect. Good job.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about some of your 2-year love story that was in that newspaper?
Ooh.
Some highlights?
The hot air balloon was probably a big one.
It was literally like our first date,
Yeah.
quote unquote, and she took me on a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
That was like insane because I usually am like, I do not do well with heights. And at first I was like, oh shit, like get me off this, like
Yeah.
inwardly. But then like we talked the whole time and it like calmed me down and like the view was like beautiful. So
Yeah.
That
I
was
feel like it was
amazing.
also like so like there was like 4 or 5 other people in the hot air balloon with us, but like nobody else was talking
you know, it's
except
like
for
so
us.
silent. And we were like, this is awkward.
Yeah,
Like,
but,
let's
like,
just talk.
It like still felt like so right and like comfortable, where I feel like even like being in such an awkward like small vicinity with like other people, like I feel like it was such a like good sign for us that we weren't just like awkward and like felt awkward. We like made it
Yeah.
our own thing.
Yeah, that was definitely like the start of like, and then just everything
Yeah.
went up from there. So we didn't like U-Haul, but we kind of U-Hauled. So like we
We did a
moved
slow
in-
U-Haul, I
We
guess.
moved in probably, what was it, like 6 months into our relationship?
Yeah, so like we got an apartment with like one of her friends, and me and him moved in kind of like full time together, and she still kind of had her other apartment for a couple months. So she was like still slowly moving her stuff in. But I would say we still like, you were there every night, like we still
Yeah.
like, lived together.
Yeah. And then he eventually moved out, so then it was us. And
Yeah.
then we now have a dog and 2 cats.
A whole family.
Did you
Yeah.
get the pets together?
Two of them.
Yeah, 2 of them.
Yeah.
I had Eddie, which looks like
Yeah.
One of our mascots?
yeah. And yeah, and then we got the dog and the cat together.
Yeah.
And what else have we done? We're moving again.
Yeah.
You were moving yesterday?
Yeah,
Where
we're
are
just
you
like
moving?
packing stuff, but Attleboro, so we'll be closer to you
Yeah.
guys.
So
We're in
close.
Pawtucket right now, so
Okay.
Cool.
We gotta get out of the
Yeah.
bucket.
Yeah,
We gotta
yeah.
get. It's not good.
I did
Yeah.
8 months in Pawtucket, and that was enough.
Yeah.
Good job.
yeah, it's a little rough. The
Yeah.
area that we're in is like, it's just hard and driving, and we can't really like walk to act. So where we are is like in a community where we'll be able to like, you know, it's more homey and things like that. So it's cool. Yeah.
Do you guys like live next to where you work, or do you work?
So I'm remote.
Yeah. I work at Johnson & Wales. So that's like 15 minutes from where we are now. So yeah, it's really cool.
Why are you moving? I guess like why did you guys move in together? When did you know that you were ready to like move in together?
Oh God.
I think like because I was so at your first apartment, I was like there every night and I was like packing a bag and like doing everything every night and going back and forth from like my apartment to her apartment, you know, like, you know how it is. So like, I think it was just like, it made sense. It was easy. And yeah, like, plus like
I was ready to move out of my mom's. Yeah. So it just like the timing made sense. Like her lease was going to be up soon. And then we were already with each other all the time. So I think it happened quicker than we thought. Like I don't think we were expecting to find a place as soon as we did and like look at it, like it, and like sign the lease and everything. But I mean, like I wouldn't have changed anything. Like I feel like whether we waited a couple more months, it still all felt right.
Yeah. And I think we just like work well together, like living together. Like we never really like, I think we more so just like learned about each other at a faster rate, obviously, but like living, like cleaning and all that stuff, like we've never like had any issue with. So it just felt natural.
Yeah. How do you split chores, or how do you divvy up like the housework? Is there one person that likes to do certain things? Like was that an organic?
I don't know. It's so funny. We were watching Love is Blind and like they were sitting there like breaking apart the chores and we were like, that's so weird because like we never had conversations like that, like going into our relationship.
Yeah, just so, I think it's just kind of what is
who's
like,
available.
Needed, and like who's around.
Yeah, because like I'm obviously home more and I'm just like filling time in between like stuff I'm doing with work. So like I might like go empty the dishwasher, like fold the laundry or whatever. And then, like, if I'm working at night, she's not, she'll do the same thing. Like, she'll fold the laundry or, like, whatever it is. And then we just, like, split the cat, or, like, the pets evenly. Like, she does more of the cat stuff. I do, like, a little bit more of the dog stuff just because I'm home. But
yeah, it just, I think, happened, like, organically. And she taught me how to cook better, I feel like she opened my eyes. So she's Italian, so she like loves to cook, and I'm like, I eat ramen every night. And so yeah, we like cook together. I'll be like the little sous chef, like chopping vegetables while she's like doing the actual cooking, but it's nice.
Do you make dinner like every night? Do you eat together?
We try to,
we definitely try. So like we both just started like serving. There's like a second job, so like now we're gone a lot of the nights that we were like cooking. So
are
like
you working in the same place?
No. So I work at a place in Mansfield, and she works in Cranston. And so like we both work Thursday, Friday, but like I've been picking up like Tuesday, Wednesday. So like we've been like we haven't been able to like
part a lot.
I know we haven't been able to like sit down and like really do like our TV time or like our dinner time, but.
Once we get back into it, we usually like to cook every night because, I don't know, it's nice to do. Yeah, it's good.
What are some of your favorite things to cook together?
I mean, mine's pasta
Obviously,
all day.
Pasta, And we like to do, like, bowls. We do a lot of, like, chicken and rice and vegetable type things.
Yeah.
What else? I feel like that's literally it.
Yeah. So, like, my mom is, like, super Italian. So, like, she grew up making, like, homemade sauces and stuff. So, like, Sunday sauce was, like, one of my favorites, like, when I was younger. And so I feel like we kind of, like, brought that. We do, like, a weekly sauce.
Amazing.
And, like, you, like, said today, you were like, I haven't had your sauce, so, like, I want it. Yeah. So I was like, all right, that's what we're having tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Would you want to swap sauce recipes?
Sure. Let's do it. Don't tell my mom, but yeah.
Amazing.
Secret family recipe.
So are your families supportive?
You want to go first?
Sure. They definitely are. So she surprised me with an engagement party, which was also absolutely amazing. My sister and her wife, my sister is also queer, which is very helpful. They flew in from DC, and like my parents were there, and they did struggle with it in the beginning when I came out, as parents do, but like. She, I feel like, is the first person that I've introduced them to where I feel like it's not the fact that, it's just like who you are as a person. Like they love you. And so like, I think that has really like helped them like settle into me being with a woman, like, more.
Yeah, because I feel like when we started dating, you said that your dad was, like, kind of quiet and, like, whatever it was, and I feel like, me and him chat, like, all the time, like,
football,
yeah,
and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, Linda too, but I feel like I really got to your dad, so.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your coming out story?
Sure. You go first.
You want me to go? It was weird because I feel like I always knew in high school that, like, I always had, like, a boyfriend. I was always dating guys, but I still, like, never felt fulfilled, I guess. Like, I was always, like, looking for the next best thing. And then I was in a pretty long-term relationship with a guy up until I was, like, 23. So I was with him for almost, like, 3 years. And I even said, I was like, if this would be the guy that I would marry if I was, like, totally 100% happy. Like, there would be no other guy that I would, like, go out searching for. And then I just still felt like it wasn't like clicking. And so I ended up breaking up with him, and I kind of was just like, can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or can we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
swear
I do
away.
that? Okay, well, I just didn't know.
We'll just bleep it if we have to.
I was kind of just like, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to see what happens with, like, girls, and, like, if that's actually something that's going to, like, click a little bit more, like, with me and, like, made me feel, like, happier, I guess. And so I started dating some girls, and I did. Like, I felt like all the feelings I felt in, like, high school and middle school, like, started to, like, make sense.
Big same.
Yeah. And I ended up meeting this girl who I was kind of like, I want to come out to my family. But, like, the last couple girls that, like, I, like, was kind of just, like, fucking around. Like, I want to, like, figure this out. And then I finally met someone that I was like, all right, I'm ready to, like, do, like, the whole bang. Like, I'm ready to, like, come out and, like, do my thing. And so I did. Like, she was, like, the girl I came out to with my family. The responses were, like, here and there. Like, my brother and sister were, like, fantastic. Like, I came out to them first through a text message, typical, because I'm awkward. But, like, no, like, Alicia was like, look, if you need me there for anything, like, that's it. Like, I'll be there. And my brother was the same way. He was like, look, like, do what makes you happy. Like, we all love you. The response with my mom was a little bit different. It was a little bit harder. And then my dad always just kind of, like, supports my mom. But, like, I had separate conversations with my dad where he was like, look, like, go date, like, a fucking animal. Like, I don't care. As long as you're, like, happy, like, it doesn't matter. Like, and so, yeah. I mean, now my mom's great. My dad obviously has passed, but, like, he loved her. And then you're with my family more than, like, I am. So.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like I was a little intimidated just knowing that, like, what happened when you came out or whatever, like, towards your mom. I was a little scared, but then, no, she's been, like, nothing but, like, warm and nice to me, and, like, I feel like she, like, that's the relationship that I would want with, like, a mother-in-law, so, yeah, and, like, it's, I feel like,
and, like, when we got engaged, she, like, sent you, like, a really nice text being like, you're part of the family, like, I love you, like, so it has really been, like, a 180, like, it took a really long time to get there, but, I mean, I couldn't imagine, like, her daughter-in-law being anybody else, like, so.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. But.
And your family is also all from Mass.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, she's from Foxborough. We literally grew up 5 minutes down the road from each other.
Yeah, it's super weird. Like, my brother graduated with her sister. My brother-in-law also graduated with, like, your sister and him used to be, like, best friends or, like, super close.
Somehow
and,
we
like,
just, like, didn't know.
We were in high school together,
well,
like, didn't know.
I was 4 years old.
She was a senior and I was a freshman.
Okay.
So, like, the age gap is only 2 years, but in high school, it's like, when you're a freshman, you're not really hanging out with seniors,
right,
you know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah, as you get older, it's, like, less of a big deal.
Yeah, exactly,
for sure.
Yeah.
I always give her shit, though. I'm always like, oh, like, you're so
She'll,
old.
like, be like, oh, remember this person? I'm like, no, I'm too old. I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you have any, like, queer role models that were, like, influential in you, like, experimenting? Or?
Not really. Like, I did follow, like, Shannon Beveridge for a while, and, like, I feel like certain things she talked about, like, was super relatable, and I feel like I never had anybody that was, like, really relatable. And then I did have a really good friend in the period of, like, breaking up with that guy to, like, figuring out if I was, like, gay or however I wanted to identify.
How old were you? Like,
so I came out fully at 24.
Okay.
I was experimenting at, like, 23. And so being friends with that girl, like, she was gay. And there was like nothing ever weird that like came about that, but I feel like watching her and like listening to her talk about her experience, I was like, oh, like that clicks with me like super well. She was like, I'm super happy, like this is kind of what I do. And I was like, dude, like I'm just gonna like, if I have questions or like I need support, like she was kind of my go-to. So she definitely helped me in like a really tough time for sure. But
How about you? Do you have any like queer role models, or you were just like woke up and you're like, you know, I like women?
I literally would like Google like two girls kissing, and like I watched the L Word, and that was like right after I came out. Yeah, I didn't really have anyone that I knew that was gay.
When did your sister come out?
After me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I actually came out to her. So I literally didn't even like fathom like that I was gay until literally a month into college. So I leave Foxborough, I go to college, and bam, I'm like, oh, I'm like making out with girls, okay. And so I came out pretty much like at the same exact time as I realized I myself was gay. I wasn't really in the closet at all. But then I told my sister, and I was like, oh yeah, I've been like hooking up with a girl, and she was like, what? But then shortly after, she was like, oh, like same. So.
That's amazing.
How old is your sister?
She's 5 years older than me, so she is
37, I
yeah,
think.
turning 38.
yeah, and they just got married last year too.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Erin.
Congratulations, Erin.
Yeah,
Cheers, Erin.
Christina's awesome too. So they're like a perfect match.
Yeah, my role models now for sure. They have an amazing relationship.
Do you have any other siblings? Is it just you and your sister?
Just me and my sister. So I do think that was a little hard for my parents as well.
Yeah.
Because both of your kids are gay, and you know how that like might internalize, like, you know, if he were to ever be like, oh, like, you know, what did I do wrong or something like that, if he like thinks that way, which he might, but I mean, he's still supportive. Like, he went to their wedding and everything, and yeah, if he does think that, he's never really said anything along those lines. So
Yeah.
I think I just wonder. But
Are either of your families religious?
No.
Oh.
No, it was funny though because I did do like the first communion, the confirmation, and everything like that. So, because it's like if you can't, then you can't get married in a church. But I did get the card pulled on me, like, oh, like, I wish I could pull the text up, but I can't. But it was like revolving around like, oh, like, you know, you like this isn't happening under my roof, like blah blah blah, with like religion thrown in there, like going to church. And I'm like, dude, we haven't been in church since I was like in 9th grade for my confirmation. It wasn't like we did like when we were younger. It was like a regular. We never went Sundays. Like when I was really young, we did like the Christmas Easter, but that stopped like. I don't even, when I was like 12, you know, like it was so young, but no, definitely not religious.
yeah, my parents, so my mom is Jewish and my dad is Catholic, and they never really, I mean, we celebrate Christmas obviously, but like they never really chose one or the other, which I actually am like really stoked about, because I feel like it just like allowed me to kind of form my own like beliefs and opinions, and like I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. And so, yeah, I think if anything, it was not more religion-based as it was, like, society-based. Like, there are reservations about us being gay and things like that, so. But, yeah.
Do you have pet names for each other?
I don't know, do we? I mean, we see, like, Babe a lot, or,
Beauty.
like... Oh, yeah, I would say Beauty. It's always, like...
Yeah. You
like,
started that one,
yeah.
and then I just started doing it, too.
So
But,
cute.
yeah.
That's a cute one.
Yeah.
Do you guys?
Not really. I love to call her honey and like all those things, but
Call
she
me
feels like
whatever you
it's like
want.
too vintage or something.
No,
Like,
it's like generic. Like it doesn't feel
generic.
like us, but
gotcha.
You
I have to come up with something. That
I
you
prefer whatever pet name. She's just been calling me Lindsay Conway now.
Like. Yes.
Okay.
Right. Lindsay Conway.
Do you still go by Lindsay Rose Conway Smith?
I dropped the Smith
Okay.
actually in like 8th grade because I had to for cheerleading. That was a whole other thing. Story for another day.
I want to hear that story.
Aye.
Can I ask if there's anything you guys like argue about? Like, is there anything that is a common?
I would say when we first started dating, and this was more of like a me thing, because like I grew up very like closed off. Like I'm super like I don't really like, I don't know how to talk, right? Like, and so when we would try to communicate, I feel like I would always shut down. But I did that with, like, everybody. I do that with my family. Like, it wasn't just, like, a her thing. But then, like, I was in therapy for, like, a couple years and then, like, passed, like, throughout a lot of our relationship. And, like, that kind of helped me, like, learn how to communicate. And I would say that was, like, the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think I'm anxiously attached, and you maybe were more avoidant attached.
Yeah.
And so once we moved in, I think that was where we were, like, learning our, like, triggers and just, like, how we are in relationships. And it was, like, it was a journey for sure. I think it took a year for us to, like, actually be like, okay, like, to totally to fully understand each other, like, and how we can communicate and work through stuff.
We did, like, a lot of cute things, though. Like, we would, like, write letters, like, try to, like, that was my way of, like, really getting, like, my feelings out. Or if, like, we had, like, a conflict about something, it was, like, what triggered you during that, and, like, what can I do differently? So, like, we did do that for a little bit. We did, like, weekly check-ins, as, like, weird as it sounds, but, like...
Well, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, like, even just, like, how's work going, or, like, how are you feeling? Like, not even so much about, like, us.
Yeah.
So I think those two things, like, really helped, like, push that communication boundary.
Yeah. Currently, I feel like I don't really know what
No,
to fight
we
about. There's, like, bickering, maybe, but, like, that's, like, I really don't think, like, we, like, fight.
Do you have, like, different taste in television or, like, music? Or,
We actually are, like, obsessed with trash reality TV, which is
like all we
fantastic. Yeah.
And then music was actually, like, how we bonded, I think. Like, so...
Was it Taylor Swift?
It wasn't. No, I gave her shit, because, like, I was never a Swiftie.
I made her be a Swiftie.
I hate
We
to
don't know
admit
anything
it.
about that.
But, like, so she had... So this is, like, what really... She had inboxed me about, like, going on a date. And I said I was, like, kind of talking to somebody. Because, like, I was still, like, fizzling out.
So
but,
you
like,
meet at this bar,
Yeah.
and then you slide into her DMs.
You slid into my DMs.
I did.
Let's
So,
be
like...
real.
So, like, we both left the bar, and then I was like, this girl's, like, amazing. Like, I want to continue to hang out with her. And I, like, never do that. Like, I always let people come to me. I'm never a chaser or anything like that. So I dropped our friends off, and then I, like, followed you on Instagram and then messaged her and was like, what are you doing? Because I didn't get to say bye to her. So I was like, I'm never going to see this girl again.
Oh, no.
And then...
I
like,
drove back to you.
We hung out for, like, what? Like, a half an hour or something? Because it was, like, already, like, 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. And then the next day, I was driving to North Carolina, and she inboxed me being like, I want to take you on a date. And I was like, ooh, like, gotta kind of play hard to get, right? So I was like, no, I'm, like, still kind of talking to somebody, which, like, I was, but I was single. And then we just, like, nonstop talked about, like, literally music, I think, for, like...
Yeah, music was, like, a big part of
months straight.
Yeah.
Like, we would send...
make each other playlists. all
Yeah,
the
we
time.
still do. We make monthly playlists for, like, each other.
Yeah.
And then,
We go to a lot of shows.
yeah, concerts are really big for us. But yeah, I think we sent each other music more than we actually, like,
We talked, yeah.
Like,
we, like, communicated through that. I
yeah.
feel like, too, yeah.
So, like, that was really cool.
Yeah.
And, like, that's something that we still... Like, in the little I love you, like, will you marry me newspaper, I had, like, a little playlist that I made that she could, like, scan the QR code that was, like, the engagement playlist.
Oh, my gosh.
So, like, just, like, little things like that to keep it going.
Which you played at the engagement party.
Did we?
I don't know.
We
if they
should
had-
have,
We should have, though. We
I don't
should have
even
done
know.
that. I
And
don't think they had music, but we should have done that.
I dropped the ball.
God, babe.
Do you have any like verbal or nonverbal shorthands with each other? Like just like looks or like anything that only you guys would understand?
Well,
don't
we
know.
have like the weirdest like quirks and references and like inside jokes.
Yeah.
I think we can tell when one another is like ready to go, or you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I don't know if anything like stands out though. It's kind of like in the moment, I think.
yeah. But I do think we're pretty like in sync.
Yeah. Yeah, I can like look at you across the bar and be like, all right, it's time
Yeah.
to go. Like we gotta get going.
It's very cute.
So cute. Do you have any trips planned?
We are going to Italy in May for like 2 weeks. So
To eat all the pasta.
oh yeah. Yup.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. It's like during our like 3-year anniversary, so
Yeah, that'll be good.
yeah, and then
She's
I
the
finished
first person
school.
I went to Europe with, so I'm excited to go
Where did you
back.
go?
But we went to Amsterdam,
How was
France. It was amazing.
Oh my god, I would go back to Amsterdam in a second.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back to France.
I
Like
liked
no,
France.
no offense to France, but
Yeah.
like it wasn't my favorite.
I think I was just like, that was the first place we got to on our trip, and like we literally stayed at an Airbnb that was like right outside the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
So I think that was like insane.
Yeah,
But yeah, Amsterdam, and then we did Belgium as well. But it was good.
yeah, we like trained it up and then back, which was really cool too. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you have family in Italy?
I wish.
Ah.
No, I think my mom, like, if you looked way back, she's Sicilian, so there's some family, like, hanging out in Sicily, but I think if I ever went up to them, they'd be like, who the fuck are you? Like,
Totally.
but
What about you guys? How long have you
Yeah.
been together?
tell us a story. How'd you
Go
meet?
ahead.
We met on Tinder.
Okay.
And yeah, you want me to tell? So
Sure.
I sent Andy a message. I slid into her inbox, and what was our first date? So Andy is Portuguese.
Okay.
And there's an amazing Portuguese restaurant in Providence. So she trucked her little butt all the way down from Boston to meet me. And we had a really nice first date and walked around the east side, which is so
Nice.
cute. And I was we walked around and talked, and then
We had such an intimate conversation. After that, I was like,
did we? I remember talking about TV shows and
But like I remember just like feeling really connected. Like I felt connected. I felt like we really vibed.
I just wanted to see you again. 'Cause- yeah. No, immediately obsessed.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
As lesbians do.
That is cute.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so Andy's birthday, so we met in June, and Andy's birthday is in June. And I feel like, we met and then saw each other a bunch, and I worked on an embroidery of her dog for a birthday present.
That's cool.
And so I started that at my friend's birthday party, which was like a crafternoon in Lincoln Woods, so cute.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I was telling you this the other day. I was starting this embroidery, and I think I'm falling in love with this girl. I've known her for 15 days. I'm is this too much? Should I even be doing this right now? But yeah, and here we are. So
Nice.
Awesome. When you know, you know. you
Yeah.
know, like-
Totally.
I feel like it
Totally.
just clicks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
yeah, and we were both coming out of really complicated few months.
Yeah.
I had my first lesbian breakup and was down bad.
Yeah.
And you were going through your own stuff. So we were in very similar places, and I think both ready to, well, you weren't necessarily ready to be serious.
You changed my mind.
It's always how it goes, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with us. We were both we don't want serious relationships. and
No, we
we're
both had we both came out of long-term relationships. Both were kind of dating around.
Yeah.
And then I feel like when we first met, we both were we don't want a relationship. And then the whole time I was trying to convince her that she loved me and wanted to be with me. So
Yeah.
And how were you trying to convince her?
just being amazing, I guess.
We talked, same thing, very intimate
Yeah.
conversations right off the bat, just about our trauma, obviously, and all that other good stuff. So
Yeah, I feel like our trauma, and I won't even call it all trauma, but a lot of what we went through in previous relationships and family stuff was super relatable. And nowadays I feel like it's so hard to find people who are relatable to you and what make you feel comfortable. And I feel like everything we talked about, the first day we actually hung out, she came over after work, which was 10, and we literally just sat on the couch and talked until 3 a.m.
So great.
Nothing else. It was literally just a straight conversation about everything.
yeah,
And I feel like that was when I was
fuck.
this is bad.
Yeah. We had a lot of those moments where we were like, oh shit, we're done
yeah,
that.
yeah. But that's what's great about it too. At the same time. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unexpected is good.
Yeah.
I think.
I also think it's nice to find somebody that's fucked up in a similar way, trauma-wise.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly, yeah. No, it's,
As crazy as that is to say.
yeah.
It's,
It's helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The other thing that was hard for us was we were both looking for something monogamous, and it's really hard to find people who are monogamous online.
Oh, as opposed to
Yeah,
Everybody's poly on the
Yeah.
apps,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
3 of the 4 people we've had on have experimented with that and are in
Interesting.
that arena. which
Yeah.
that's great, but like that's
Absolutely.
not what
I have
Yeah.
so much, I think, trauma to handle that. I don't
Yeah.
know if I would mentally be able to. And I get why people do, but I just don't think I would
It's
be able
definitely
to.
made for like a very like specific person.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a very like strong, confident, like
Right.
going into it like this is exactly what I want. But we've also known people who are poly who have had like
They struggle with
they
it.
like they do struggle with it because I feel like somebody might get a little bit more attached and then it's kind of like
Yeah.
shit like
Yeah.
now what.
Yeah.
But I mean for people who can do it like
Yeah.
all commends like
Cool.
good for you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
good for you guys.
Yeah.
What are one of the biggest reasons why you guys are getting married?
I feel like I just knew. Like, there's
Yeah.
nobody else I want to, like... I don't want to get to know anyone else. Like, she was, like... It was instant. Like, I feel like the first night we hung out, I was like, this is who I want to spend the rest of my life with. Like, I'm going to be convincing you forever.
Yeah.
So, like...
It's more like
But-
a promise to her that
Yeah,
like, we're
like-
doing this forever.
Yeah, because, I mean, we're not in, like, a rush to do anything. Like, with her... I feel like my previous relationships, everything was a rush. Like, we didn't get to enjoy, like, any stage of any relationship or any part of the relationship. And with her, like, we were both very much on the same page. Like, we want to enjoy, like, what dating is like, what being engaged is like, what being married is like, and just, like, be able to live, like, all of those parts. And, like, even now, like, we're engaged. We've only been engaged for, like, 2 months. And I think every, like,
I did not expect that at
anyone
all.
we see, it's like, when's the wedding? What's the date? What do you guys want to do? Like,
whoa.
and I'm like,
wait,
like
what?
last night we went out and it was like an hour-long conversation of like, well,
What-
you should
what
do
to
this
do
or
at our
like,
wedding, yeah.
you'll regret like not doing this or that. And we're like, dude, like we're just like,
That
we're
sounds
just trying
so
to vibe.
overwhelming.
It is like,
Do you like want to have a big thing and include people? Do you want it to just be like intimate, just about you?
We were literally talking about this on the way here.
yeah, we like talk about it all the time, but we just like don't know.
I just feel like because we want to do something that's very us. And
Yeah.
like we don't want to feel like what we're doing is for other people.
yeah, we're very untraditional.
Yeah.
Like,
We've talked about maybe doing town hall and then having like a party after, and then we would go to Europe and get eloped there, and then like anyone and like / honeymoon or whatever, just
Yeah.
a trip. And anyone that would want to come can, but like we would never obviously be like, you know, like upset
Yeah.
if no one came. Like
Right.
it's like a big thing, but yeah, like something different. I don't necessarily want to spend all that money on just one
yeah.
night, and yeah.
We like, but like, if she ever came to me and was like, "I want the wedding, I want the dress, I want, you know, the whole shebang," I'd be like, absolutely. Like, I was never really big into that stuff. Like, I always knew I wanted to get married, kind of. I just, the whole like walking down the aisle with the dress and stuff, that was never me. But if she ever came to me and was like, I changed my mind, like, I don't want to do an elopement, like, I want to like do this big thing, like, we would still have a blast. Like, it would still be.
Yeah. I feel like I want it to just be more like us and like
Yeah.
intimate and not like and like the vows I want, obviously, just like you and me and things like that, but I don't really care about like the tradition of it all. So
Are your
Yeah.
families flexible with that? You both have like kind of big families that want to be included.
Yeah.
I think like one of the interesting things about being queer is that like your parents already are like, oh, well, this is so different. So like
Yeah.
whatever you want to do, like do. And so I think they're not surprised that we like don't want a traditional wedding.
Yeah.
So I don't think my parents would travel to Europe, but they were like, I did mention it to them and they were fine with it. And like, that's why I think we would do town hall so that like we could
Yeah.
include everyone in our families and friends and things like that. But yeah.
What would you wear to town hall? Would you dress
She
up?
still wants a dress.
Yeah.
She still
Yeah,
wants
do
to do
it.
the whole thing. I haven't decided. I think it's gonna depend on how I wake up the morning of the wedding. If I do a suit or a dress or
Sweatpants, you
a
know,
power
whatever you want to
suit.
do.
I don't
Yeah.
know. but
Amazing.
but yeah, I think she still wants the vows and she still wants to like dress the part. So those are two things that'll definitely come with town hall regardless. And then everything else I feel like
Yeah.
kind of fall into place.
Yeah.
But somebody we were talking to last night had a good idea of like each of us writing down 5 absolute things we want and then crossing off like making like a top 3 out of like our lists together. So like maybe once we like seriously start planning, we might do something like that too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I have to propose to you though. So
there's, like I said, there's no rush.
What are your favorite things about each other?
You want to go first?
Sure. I think she's just like so genuine. Like I've never met anyone that's like so genuine and just like an actually good person. I feel like a lot of the people I've dated, I don't know, like I feel like they like almost used me in a way for like their own benefit or like ulterior motives or something. And I think with her, she just, I can tell that she like actually just like knows and likes who I am. But like you're also like that with everyone else. You're just like very genuine person and like with your friends and family, and you're just like straight up who you are.
Thanks, man.
Which I love. And you're obviously just like very kind and caring and nurturing.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I would say for her, it's like she has this like incredible way of just making everybody feel comfortable. And I've never like met people like that, like, or people I've dated, I've never really met like that. And like my family, I feel like she made super comfortable. Like the fact that like she could even get me to break down my wall the way she did, I felt like was my instant sign. And like I feel like she walks in a room and she just like lights it up. Like I remember the night we met, the entire bar was packed, but like the one thing about her that stood out is that like she just talked to everybody. Like she was just like bouncing around, and I was like, this girl is like literally like a light in this bar. Like everybody wants to talk to her. I was like, I want to talk to her. And so I think that was just like, it's still a standout like trait about you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's interesting because like I like definitely have social anxiety, so I don't know like how I do both, but
It's amazing. Are you guys both like in therapy? Like, do you feel like mental health plays a role in like queerness? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started therapy in 2020. So that was before I met her, but it 100% like changed my whole, I feel like my frontal lobe like finally like developed after I started going to therapy. Like it was like, oh, now I understand like all of the things like that happened, or like, okay, like this is like why I am the way I am. And then like when we met, I feel like it was at like the perfect time actually, because I feel like I had enough therapy where I was like actually ready for like a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
So
It was like the same thing for me too. Like I started therapy probably around like maybe 6 months to a year before me and her started dating. And it was like mainly like my purpose of going was like coming out of my last relationship was just like I wasn't the best, like I wasn't my best self in that relationship, and like me and that person just like didn't click. But I definitely knew there were things that I needed to like work on and fix. And then I obviously have like trauma from my past that like played a lot into like how I was acting and stuff like that. So I think therapy like definitely helped like me understand myself, but also like validate a lot of the feelings that I was struggling with, which was like super helpful.
yeah, it definitely helps with communication and all that.
Yeah.
Are you guys also?
Yeah. I started therapy. I got into therapy when I was 22. Also, like, got into Al-Anon at that time and, like, a lot of stuff. And I've been in therapy for a long time.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm in the market for a new therapist, though. So if you know anybody good,
I think
I
shopping
do. I
around.
love my therapist.
Yeah, her therapist is fantastic.
EMDR, that's what I'm looking for.
I actually do think that she at least like knows contacts in that.
We'll have to swap some numbers.
I love my therapist. Do you guys like your therapist? How'd you find like a good therapist?
I think I like totally believe in shopping around for therapists.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's like obviously therapists are good at what they do, but it's like they also need to like click with you, and there needs to be like a good vibe. And like going into it, I like knew I wanted like a younger, like I needed somebody in like LGBTQ. I needed someone in like family trauma. Like so those were like my three things that like I couldn't go without. And I found my therapist, and she just like she sat there, she just listened. There was no judgment. I was like, you're fantastic. I was like, we're gonna keep this rolling for a little bit. And she got me through like a lot of things. Like even something that we would do is like if we did have like a conflict, we would like go and kind of like talk to our therapist about it, and then come together and be like, this is kind of like our feedback, and like really try to work out those problems. So I feel like
Yeah, that was super helpful.
yeah, but there still like wasn't any judgment based off like our therapist to like oh like Michelle did this, like that's not like red flag, you know what I mean? And like that was huge. So
yeah, no, I feel like they both were kind of like, calm down. Like, it's
You
not
both are
that serious.
overreacting.
Yeah.
Like, what are you fighting? You're fighting about, like, pasta.
Yeah.
Like, stop it. Like,
It's so funny. What do you think is something like hard about being like in a women-loving women relationship? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, this area is definitely not the easiest.
Yeah.
I think we struggle with finding like a queer community here. We have a lot of straight friends. And, like, that's just how it's always been for me.
yeah.
And like even going out to certain like hometown bars has been like kind of a struggle. We've gotten crazy comments and
You have
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
in
yeah.
Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
in this town.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mansfield specifically. But, like, everywhere. Like, I feel like we've even gone other places and, like, we've dealt with stuff. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, there was
So-
one specific instance where this guy was basically being like, what DICK like turned you gay and like
Yeah.
all this
he was like, come
crap.
have a threesome with, like, me and my, like,
Yeah.
girlfriend.
First
and,
he's like judging us, then he wants to have sex with us.
Yeah.
It was very,
Of course.
very crazy. Yeah.
course.
Yeah, so like we've dealt with that a lot, but I feel like even like separately, like we've each been like hit on by guys, and then it's like, oh, you're gay, like that's not expected, or like,
Yeah, like, and
Things
you
are-
don't look gay
Yeah.
and all that crap. And but
Yeah, we
also
definitely
like
get
it's
that a
very
lot.
invalidating when guys know that you're in a gay relationship and they still like try and get with you anyway, just because like, oh, it's not real, you know? Like,
Yeah.
so I'm sure you guys have like struggled with. I mean, I just feel like
I don't know. I'm like more masculine presenting,
I
so
mean,
like
yeah,
it's like
maybe.
so obvious that like I'm not interested in you.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm not
Like,
interested.
get away from
Yeah, exactly.
I spent
But how about you?
my 20s in Providence, which is like there is a pretty solid queer scene
Yeah.
there. Not that I would like I was always on the outskirts of that and had like a lot of straight friends. But I have been really lucky. Like I have not experienced a lot of that.
yeah.
But I only fully came out at like 31. So like
Yeah.
I came out at 22 as bi, and then like mostly centered men for like another decade. So I'm still new to this game.
Yeah, I think we both kind of did that, where we were like, oh, we're bisexual, and then at least for me, I'm like, no, I'm just gay. That's
Yeah.
fine. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I came out like very abruptly, like I'm gay, and then I like started to second guess myself because I did do such a hard launch, and I didn't fully like understand like my sexuality at the time because I was still attracted to guys, and like I did still like if somebody would like flirt with me, like I would flirt back. So it was kind of like, am I still into this? Is this like something I would still pursue in the future? And for a while, like that did cause like issues in the previous relationship I was in because it was like hard for me to like be able to express that and not like feel weird about it or like ashamed about it. And then I feel like as I gradually like grew to understand like me and like who I was and like definitely taking like some time to myself to like learn me, I feel like helped. So like I wouldn't identify as like bisexual now, but there definitely was like a learning curve to like what is this, like how do I want to identify.
Was there any queer media that you consumed that helped you figure those pieces out?
Honestly, like probably not really. Like I mean, I listened to like a couple of like the gay podcasts or like some of the gay influencers, but I feel like it was more so like I just needed to figure it out for myself. And I mean, there were definitely like I definitely wasn't like the best about figuring it out, but I just felt like I needed to like learn who I was. Like there was even a post that I did when I first like came out that was like, oh, like I came out as gay, and then I went back and changed it to I came out as bisexual, and I was kind of like, why am I like I don't even understand like who I am. So I feel like it was just like definitely I didn't take enough time before like jumping into a relationship to really like explore that. So.
Yeah.
Do you feel like labels are important? Like how do you feel like labels like help you with like getting to know yourself?
I feel like I put so much pressure on a label that made me more confused. And I feel like society groups people into labels, which I feel like can be kind of like traumatizing for people, especially if that's not how they identify. And there was a period in time where like I was ashamed of like coming out as gay and then trying to explain myself as like being bi, because like, you know, trying to help my family understand like, what if I did date a guy again, but then I just made them go through all of this trying to understand like dating a woman. I felt like the label was harder for me to like accept for myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think I was all over the place. I was like, I'm bisexual, I'm a lesbian, I'm pan, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna call myself gay, call it a day. I feel like they can be obviously very important, but I think for certain people too, it's like, you know, it's confusing already as it is, so to like put a word on it might be confusing as well.
What does gay mean to you? Like, when I say gay, I mean queer. But, like, some people say gay, they mean lesbian. So when you say you're gay, what does it mean to you?
I feel like it's, like, an overarching, like, kind of like how queer is, like, an overarching word of just, like... Because it's... I don't know. I just don't think it's... Because even... I don't really even, like, consider... Like, call myself lesbian, which
I don't
maybe
think
I
I've
should,
ever
but, like,
referred to myself as a lesbian, which is super weird.
Yeah, and I do think that's because, like, society... Like, growing up, that was, like, almost like a bad word or something. But, like, I think gay is just, like, I don't know, easier. But I don't know. Like, I think, I don't know. What do you
I totally, like, I call myself gay because I don't want to put myself in a box, but I will happily call myself a lesbian. But I know that some people say lesbian and, like, it's, like, almost like a bad word. And it's, like,
it's
even...
like frowned upon almost, which is, like, crazy because, like, it is such a strong, powerful word. But then it's, like, when it comes out, I feel like... I, like, feel weird. Like, wait, I'm what? Like, but, I mean, that's what I am.
Right.
I love to call her honey.